Making Ends Meet by Peter Higginbotham.
Honesty. Absolute honesty. That's the first rule in this business, Mr. Hopkins. Remember that and we'll soon find you a kindred spirit. Now then, Trevor, isn't it?
That's right, Trevor. Edmund Hilary Sherper Tenzing Hopkins.
Trevor, Edmund...
You know, Everest.
Oh, yes.
It was my dad's idea. He thought it might help make me, you know.
Let's confine ourselves to Trevor, shall we? Keep it simple.
Oh, that's what I usually do, only you did say absolute honesty.
Anyway, there really isn't space.
Whatever you think best, Mrs. Buckingham.
No, Mr. Hopkins, Trevor, we went through all that on the phone. There isn't actually anyone called Fiona Buckingham.
But I thought the woman outside called you Fiona.
That's right, I am Fiona.
Oh, I see.
But not Fiona Buckingham.
I think.
Good.
What then?
Sorry?
Fiona what then?
We do like to restrict ourselves to first names here, Trevor. All part of our policy of complete confidentiality. One can't be too careful. Strictly entre nous. Some of my past clients have been household names.
Oh.
I couldn't possibly mention anyone specifically, of course. But if I was to say to you, exceedingly good sausages, I'm sure you'll apprehend my allusion.
Sorry, Fiona.
Things were all very different then, of course.
I just thought if ever I needed to ask for you.
Halcyon days.
Oh, I don't suppose it matters really, Fiona.
Now then, Trevor, where were we? Age?
36, last March.
Early 30s.
Isn't that stretching things?
You're as young as you feel, Trevor. That's the first rule here.
Oh.
What's a year or two amongst friends?
But...
Oh, would you excuse me, Trevor? Beverly, dear, I did say no calls. Oh, is he? All right, put him on. Sorry, Trevor. It seems that someone is desperate for my attentions. Won't keep you a moment. Malcolm, this is a pleasant surprise. Are you? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Who? Oh, Brenda. Well, she's very keen to meet you, Malcolm. Carlisle? Oh, yes. Charming part of the world. I know it's a long way from Barnstaple, but... Oh, I see. Well, I don't have your file in front of me, Malcolm, but if you say we agreed 50 miles maximum, then I'm sure that... What? Petite? Yes, I know what it means, in broad terms. Wait... Well, perhaps it's an old photo. Look, Malcolm, I can tell you're the tiniest bit upset, but if you'll just leave it with me, I'll sort it all out straight after I finish. Oh, dear. Must have been cut off.
Problems?
Clerical error in the office, I expect. All the clients we have to deal with. Sacks full of mail every day.
Oh.
Not that they don't all get my complete personal attention, of course. Oh. Now then, Trevor, hobbies. Would you rather A, go hot air ballooning, B, visit the ballet, or C, have a quiet evening at home playing mahjong?
I didn't know there was going to be a test.
No, Trevor. We have to build up a picture of you, your personal profile. Surely you read the brochure?
Oh, I see. Is it for the computer?
Yes, that's right. For the computer. And of course, for passing on to all your specially selected prospective partners. That's where I come in. I can always tell whether two people are going to hit it off. Don't ask me how, but I'm never wrong. Of course, we're always limited by who's with the agency at any particular moment, but given time, I'm absolutely confident.
Is there a parachute?
I beg your pardon?
A parachute. You know, for the hot air balloon.
Cheers, darling. I made it a large one. Ooh. You look like you could do with it. I won't sing happy birthday unless you really want me to. Gerald and I have organised a little surprise for you, though.
Oh, now, Margaret, I hope you haven't lined up a man in a gorilla suit to jump out of the bushes. I wouldn't put it past you.
Oh, that's an idea. I must try and organise that for next year. Anyway, it's lovely to see you, Fiona. I've been meaning to ring you for weeks for a good old chinwag. So, how's business?
Oh, you just would not believe what I have to endure to earn an honest crust.
I'd hardly call, what is it, £950 for 5 introductions, a crust, darling. It all sounded like money for old rope to me. I did once work it out, you know. That's almost £200 a phone number.
I wish you wouldn't make me sound so mercenary, Margaret. I do have my overheads. Beverly, for instance. I know I don't pay her a lot, but she really...
That's nearly £20 a digit.
And it would still be a bargain at twice the price for some of them. I mean, take this afternoon. I mean, you've seen my little form. 30 questions, 45 minutes. That's how it usually goes, an hour at the outside.
Was it that bad?
3 hours and 17 minutes. We spent nearly 20 minutes on one question. Do you like animals?
How could you possibly spend...
But with most people, it's a simple choice between yes, no, and no strong feelings. But if your name's Trevor Edmund Hillary Sherpa Tenzing Hopkins, apparently you need to have a long debate about whether it means all animals, and in that case, whether it includes insects.
Ooh.
And if it does include insects, then are we also counting spiders, which aren't true insects, but which most people treat like insects? Or, on the other hand, if the question is about domestic and farmyard animals...
I think
then
I get the picture.
Oh, he would go on about spiders. And you know how I feel about them. Even talking about them makes me feel...
Poor love. Let me top you up. Is his name really Trevor?
Apparently. His father had this crack-brained theory would somehow...
Make him go up in the world?
Oh, I know I shouldn't complain. He is the first new member in 6 weeks. We'll soon be down to single figures at this rate. And there are limits to who I compare people up with. Malcolm in Barnstable's been through all the women except old Doris in Basingstoke. Even I couldn't get away with that.
Some men go for the more mature woman.
She's old enough to be his grandmother. And I don't know what I'm going to do with Trevor. Oh, I can't afford to lose any more clients.
No.
If I could just find him 1 or 2 nice... just to build up his confidence.
You could always send him my way for a few hours. I'm sure Gerald wouldn't mind.
Margaret!
Well, couldn't you, I don't know, hire somebody for him? You know, just to keep him happy. A rent-a-date.
Margaret, this is serious. Oh, when I think of the clientele I used to have, you know, our kind of people, not the
yes.
hoi polloi I get nowadays. Oh, it's all these Lonely Hearts columns in the newspapers. People think they can do it all themselves on the cheap. They're just not prepared to pay for quality service anymore. And then they wonder why things don't work out.
Things will look up. They usually do this time of the year. You said so yourself.
And I received a very unpleasant letter from County Life this morning.
Oh, yes?
If they don't receive a cheque within 7 days, I won't get my advertisement in next month's issue.
Something will turn up.
And living over the shop doesn't help. Oh, if anything happens to the business, I could be out on the streets.
There'll always be a bed for you here, darling.
Oh.
There's more than enough room now Alison's at university. Of course. You know what you really need.
A win on the lottery.
A very rich, very eligible bachelor.
Oh, Margaret, you know that...
It's over a year now since your divorce.
Oh, and a fine advertisement for the business that was.
A bit of romance is what you need. And if he also happened to have the financial resources to...
Won't take me away from all this.
Oh, I nearly forgot. This is from me and Gerald.
Oh, Margaret.
Oh,
you shouldn't have.
Don't be silly. Everyone deserves a bit of pampering, even if it is just once a year.
What's this? Massage? Margaret, you're joking. I've never had a massage in my life.
All the more reason to try it out. You just have to phone her up and arrange a session. I'm sure I told you about her. Her name's Joanne.
Oh, I think you mentioned something.
I've been 7 or 8 times now. It's absolutely marvellous. She really knows where all the tensions are. It'll make you feel 20 years younger. And she's really nice. You can talk to her about all your problems. You know, completely unwind. She knows all my little secrets.
Yes, but
no
I'm not
buts. It's just what you need.
Trevor is a sociable, outgoing person, although he also enjoys quiet evenings at home playing...
Mahjong. It was either that or hot air ballooning.
You should have put down balloons. I keep saying you should get more fresh air.
Mother, I do not want to go ballooning. You know how heights affect me.
I expect they'll give you a parachute if you ask them.
I am not going ballooning.
I was only trying to help. He enjoys the outdoors and travel. Well, that's one thing you don't get from me. In my day, folk like to stay in their own homes. He also has a tidy, organised mind. All these aspects of his character are brought together in his favourite pastime of cataloguing travel receipts from public service vehicles.
She said to put it like that. She said it sounded better than collecting bus tickets.
Well, I expect she knows about these things. She ought to, the money it's costing.
I did say, but you wouldn't listen.
Oh. Trevor is fond of animals, excluding insects, but including spiders, which are not insects.
I made her put that bit in case anybody thought I didn't know the difference. It might put people off if they thought I didn't know.
Although the camera may not always capture Trevor's boyish good looks, he is often mistaken in the street.
Well, I don't think that bit's quite right. I was trying to tell her about that time I lost my glasses outside Woolworths.
Oh. Trevor is a strong character, but can also be gentle when the need arises. He is articulate, but always willing to listen to both sides. He is decisive, but ever ready to take good advice. He is easygoing, but always prepared to make a stand when the occasion demands. He has a warm and caring nature and a great deal to give to the right person. Oh, that's nice. She's got you to a T.
I expect she says all that for everybody.
Never mind, long as it does the trick. Age, early 30s. Height, 5'11". Since when did you grow 4 inches?
She said it was for the best. Apparently, women have this thing about height, so you have to think positive, otherwise they won't even look at you. That's her first rule. Think positive. And then you have to try and meet them in a situation where you're sitting down so they don't notice, like in a pub or a tea shop.
But how are you supposed to get into this tea shop without standing up?
Oh, she didn't mention that bit. Anyway, before they have time to realise it, you've got to overwhelm them with the size of your personality. That's what Fiona says.
Oh, does she indeed? So what happens now?
Well, Fiona feeds my details into her computer to match me up with, you know. Then she chooses which ones to send me. She picks each one personally. Oh, it's all very scientific.
And then what?
I'm not sure. I think I just have to wait and see.
Oh, you're ever so tense, especially the neck muscles. Just there.
Oh, this is divine. Almost as good as, well, you know.
Sex. I often get told that. I've heard a lot of marriage counsellors recommend massage these days, you know, for couples with problems.
Oh, it's rather too late for me, I'm afraid. That oil smells lovely.
One of my special blends. Sweet almond oil, lavender, orange blossom and bergamot.
Oh, have you been doing this long, Joanne?
4 or 5 years. It's not exactly full time though. I have to fill in with other things, you know, waitressing, cleaning. Just relax. This agency I sometimes do jobs for, giving out brochures at shows and escort jobs. Not my favourite line of work, I can tell you. But, it pays quite well. We usually go out to a nice restaurant. But they always assume, well, you know...
Yeah, I think I can imagine.
Especially business types, on expenses and all that. It's the same with the massage. No matter how clear you try and make it beforehand, you still get the ones who think it's all a front for some sex service. I had this chap the other day, Montgomery Bartlett, he called himself, computer consultant or something technical. I could tell from the minute he walked in what he was really angling for. And he started making suggestions.
Was he upset when you put him straight?
He was more upset by the massage. I really let him have it. The full works. All with a straight face, of course. I bet he ached all over the next day.
Must have been quite a performance.
Well, I did pass auditions for drama school a few years ago. That's always been my real ambition, acting. But I couldn't get a grant. You wouldn't believe how much it costs. But I do still dream.
Renter dates!
Sorry?
Oh, no, nothing. No, I mean, I'm sure there's still time.
Oh, I don't know about that. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. 32 next birthday, me.
40's the worst. After that, you stop counting.
That's better. Well, 30 was bad enough for me.
You know, Joanne, I've been thinking we might just be able to do each other a little favour.
What? You mean find me some more customers?
Not exactly. I was thinking more of your acting ambitions. Beverly, anything in the post?
Just the usual. Gas bill, reminder from the printers, final demand from BT, and Malcolm in Barnstable is asking for his money back. Ooh, and a postcard from the window cleaner, Maldives. Apparently the scuba diving's not been so good this year.
Spare me the gory details, dear. I always knew we were in the wrong business. I should get out while you can. You're not a bad-looking girl. I'm sure you could do all sorts of things. Marketing, advertising, window cleaners, mole. What about these Tupperware parties you're always organising?
You don't mean that you want me to...
What?
You're not giving me my notice?
Oh, good Lord, no!
I thought, well, with how things have been lately and every place I've ever worked has given me my notice or closed down or gone bankrupt. My typing is getting better. You said so yourself.
The sands of destiny have a bit further to turn before I need to let you go, Beverly. And yes, that was a most charming envelope you typed yesterday. I harbour great hopes of it reaching its destination. However, nil desperado. Once Mr. Hopkins's cheque has cleared, the land will again be flowing with fresh ground coffee and almond croissants. Speaking of which, could you put the kettle on when you get a chance?
What would you like me to do with Mr. Hopkins?
The words long walk and short pier spring to mind. Well, unless any aficionados of the omnibus have suddenly appeared on the files, I suppose we should try and keep him happy for a while. There's a new member called Joanne.
Joanne?
Yeah, she came in yesterday afternoon after you'd gone, and I typed up her profile myself. It's in the file. I'm sure she'll be just right for Trevor.
Righto. Only I couldn't find Trevor's photo in his file.
The one he brought had him in this most peculiar outfit. He was grinning out from under a ridiculous peaked hat that was far too big for him, completely unsuitable. I told him it was the wrong size.
What, the hat?
No, the photo. He said he got another one. That might be better.
A photo?
No, a hat.
Oh.
Anyway, he's going to drop it in sometime.
I'll put down a waiting photo for the time being then, shall I? Oh, I nearly forgot. There was another new inquiry. Some brigadier chap. I put the letter on your desk.
And you've been keeping me here chattering all this time? Oh, you know, Beverly, I suddenly feel quite extravagant. Run down to the shops and get some Viennese whirls. I think we may need them.
Well, what's it say?
Mother, it did say private on the front in case you hadn't noticed.
Oh, well then.
It's a woman.
And?
And what?
Oh, give it here.
Hey!
Joanne. Joanne is petite with blonde hair and brown eyes and is in her mid-20s. She is a sociable, outgoing person, although she also enjoys quiet evenings at home playing...
Mahjong.
I can read, Trevor, thank you very much. Playing Mahjong. Working as a caring professional, Joanne is a strong character, but can also be gentle when the need arises. She is articulate, but always willing to listen to both sides. She is decisive, but ever ready to take good advice. She is easygoing, but also prepared to make a stand when the occasion demands. She has a warm and caring nature and a great deal to give to the right person.
I suppose she sounds all right.
Oh, she sounds very nice. I think you might have a lot in common.
There's no mention of public service vehicles.
In fact, it could even be you they were describing.
Or spiders.
Perhaps they didn't have anyone else in their computer who put down buses.
You'd have thought there might have been one or two in all those hundreds of people.
Perhaps they weren't the right age or too far away. She put down whatever it is, this Joanne. You'll have that to talk about. At least she didn't put down balloons. Then where would you have been? Don't let your porridge go cold, son.
Mother, I've never even played mahjong. I wouldn't know a mahjong set if it fell off a luggage rack and hit me on the head. I'm not hungry.
Oh, I was only trying to look on the bright side. I did think you'd try and make the effort after all the money it's costing. This is all for your benefit, you know, Trevor.
Yes, Mother.
So what happens now, then?
Well, first the agency send me her details, which is what they've just done. Then if I want to meet her, I have to contact the agency to tell them to send her my details. Then if she likes the sound of me, she gets back in touch with the agency to say it's all right, and then, well, they send me her phone number.
If we're not all dead in our graves by then, couldn't they just give you an album to look through? Pick the ones you like the look of.
Oh,
I
Mother.
could come and help you.
You can't rush these things. That's their rule number one, Mother. So Fiona says. Anyway, then I phone her up.
Who?
This Joanne. Assuming she wants to. She probably won't.
Oh, of course she will.
And then we, well, you know.
You declare your intentions.
Something like that. I don't know. Fiona was a bit vague about what happens then.
Invite her round for tea. That'd be nice.
Yes, Mother.
You could make her one of those cakes you used to do for me. Victoria Sponge. You haven't done one of them in a long time.
Honesty. Absolute honesty. That's the first rule in this business, Mr. Chadwick.
Actually, it's Brigadier Chadwick, if you want to be strict about it. But that was all a good many years ago now, of course.
Well, we don't like to be too formal. Gregory, isn't it?
Indeed, dear lady, Gregory. From the Greek, as I'm sure you know, meaning to be watchful.
Of course, how fascinating. Do help yourself to a Viennese whirl.
Delightful. The simple pleasures of domesticity, of which I have been so sadly deprived since my unhappy loss.
Your late wife?
Indeed. A perfect bloom whose fragrance will forever linger in the memory. As I was only observing to the head gardener this very morning.
You must have been very close.
We were, but it's almost a year now, and, well, life at the manor house must go on.
Oh, courage, Gregory, courage. The head gardener, you said?
Fred Glossop. Been with the family donkey's years.
So there's more than one gardener then over at the manor house?
Well, naturally. I couldn't possibly manage an estate that size with just the one.
Indeed not. How big did you say the estate was?
Oh, 7 or 8
Acres?
1,000 acres.
Oh.
Look, I'm pretty hopeless at all this kind of business, you know. Cynthia, my wife, was the first, the only woman I ever...
Oh, I understand.
And in fact, it was she who proposed, you know, on the yacht, Cowes Week, back in 75.
There.
I don't know what she'd think of all this. Perhaps I shouldn't have come. Perhaps I should go.
No! I mean... No, I'm sure she'd say you were doing the right thing.
Perhaps you're right. Better see it through now I've come this far. I believe there's some sort of questionnaire.
A few tiny details, just for the computer.
Well then, far away.
Right. Number 1, hobbies. Would you rather A, go hot air ballooning, B, visit the ballet, or C, have a quiet evening at home playing mahjong?
That's rather a sticky one. Am I allowed to ask? I've always wondered about these balloon chappies. Does one get a parachute?
Hello? Is that Joanne?
Yes.
This is Trevor Hopkins. Oh, no, I'm not supposed to say that, am I?
Trevor?
From the agency. I got your details?
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I'm phoning you up
Yes.
to, well, you know.
Try and sell me some double glazing?
No, to, oh dear, to, say hello?
Yes, you've already done that.
Have I? Oh, yes. And to...
Invite me out.
What? Oh, right. Yes, that's it.
Oh, inviting me out already. Fast worker, aren't you?
Oh.
I can see I'm going to have to watch my step with you.
Oh.
I do like a man who knows what he wants and goes out and gets it. Says in your details you were decisive.
Did it?
So, you old smooth talker, you. Where were you planning on taking me?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't got that far. I hadn't even got this far.
We could drive out to the country and find somewhere.
Find somewhere? For what?
For a meal, of course.
Oh,
There's Alberto's out on the Woodstock Road, or the Chateau Blanc over at Great Marston's always very nice. Do you like French cuisine?
they have quiche in the canteen at work sometimes. Mother won't eat foreign food. It upsets her. I quite often get us fish and chips. Actually, I think they're from Madeira.
What are?
The people who run the fish and chip shop. Only I haven't told Mother. Thought it was probably best.
Well, there's always Thai or Italian. When do you want to pick me up?
Pick you up?
You do have a car.
Oh. It's at the garage? Yeah, being repaired. Big job, I'm afraid. The manifold outlet sprocket, yeah. I'll probably have to come on the bus.
The bus?
Oh, hang on. I need to put some more money in. Hello? You still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, we do have a phone, but Mother doesn't go out much, so it's a bit... Whereabouts do you live?
Near the cemetery, McIntyre Road.
Oh, that's easy. The number 12, every 20 minutes. 03, 23 and 43 past the hour from Coma Gardens. Is Thursday all right?
Yes, I think so.
I'll get the 7:43. You can get on at the end of McIntyre Road. Should be there about 7:56. I'll be inside.
Well, I didn't think you'd be on the roof.
No, I meant downstairs.
Oh, I see.
Sitting down.
Sitting down? No, I won't ask. So, how will I recognise you? There wasn't a photo in with your details.
What do people usually do?
Oh, anything. Red carnation in the buttonhole, rolled up copy of the Times.
I've got a hat I could wear, with a peak on the front, you know, like a bus conductor's.
Gregory has a warm and caring nature, and, how about a great deal to give to the right person?
I couldn't have put it better myself.
You're a very special person, Gregory. I could tell it from the very first second you walked through that door.
You're too kind.
Well, I should know. You wouldn't believe some of the men we get in here. Personality, huh? You get better conversation out of a garden gnome. And as for personal hygiene, well, honestly...
Really?
I've had to open the windows on more than one occasion. I sometimes wonder how I... Oh, you don't mind my confiding in you like this, do you?
Oh, no.
It's just that since the loss of my own dear departed husband...
I am sorry. As you still employ the title of Mrs., I naturally assume
A small
that...
gesture to his memory. As I was saying, once in a while, like this afternoon, for example, someone comes along who seems to make it all worthwhile. Someone in whom one feels able to say... Is anything wrong?
No. It's just that I told Hemmings, the chauffeur, to meet me at 4. Must get back.
Oh, the demands of a large estate. Now, we haven't talked about the little matter of our fee. did Beverly...
Oh,
happen-
yes, indeed. I've got the cheque here, just in my...
Oh.
Oh, silly me.
What is it, Gregory?
I've just realised I put the cheque into the pocket of my other jacket. I've come out without my wallet, chequebook or anything.
Oh, not to worry. Any time. Pop it in the post if you like.
Of course. You've been so very kind. I was wondering, Fiona...
Yes, Gregory?
Look, you must say if I'm speaking out of turn, but you've been so helpful. Would you do me the honour of letting me take you out for dinner? You know, as a sort of dry run? Purely on a business footing, of course. Well, what do you say?
There you are, darling. Large G and small T as ordered. Now, what's this news you're dying to tell me? You were very cryptic on the phone.
Margaret, you never guess.
I know you've had a takeover bid from Dateline, but it's being referred to the Monopolies and Mergers Commission.
I think I'm in love.
Really, darling? This is all very sudden. Who's the lucky chap?
You remember the new client I had coming over for his interview the other day?
You don't mean the Spider-Man? I thought you said he was totally
No, not him. He was last week.
Oh, the country seat, Chisselwick. You said he'd probably turn out to be the stable boy.
Chadwick. Gregory Chadwick. A brigadier, no less. And he owns the estate.
A handsome squire, eh? Lucky old you. So when did all this happen?
It hasn't. Well, not yet anyway. But he has invited me out.
And?
What?
Well, are you going to?
I'm not sure I should. You know, mixing business with pleasure.
Nonsense, darling. Call it a bit of market research. Now, do tell your Auntie Margaret. Is he totally gorgeous?
Well, gorgeous isn't the first word that springs to mind. Nor the second, third or fourth come to that. He's 5'6", rather overweight and piggy little eyes. And he ate a whole plate full of Viennese wines.
Then why on
But he
earth?
does have this enormous mansion over in the Cotswolds with millions of acres and 28 butlers. Well, 1 or 2 maybe.
That definitely spells gorgeous in my book. And oodles of cash?
Well, I'd say he was fairly well placed.
But no one to help him spend it all.
Sometimes, Margaret, you can be very uncharitable.
Oh.
What I was about to say is that he's a very shy and lonely man. And if I could possibly be of the least bit of service in helping him...
Spend all the money, eh?
If that's what he needs to make him happy, then I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
In a purely professional capacity, of course.
Of course.
So, when are you seeing him again?
Thursday evening.
Well, darling, I've just one thing to say to you. Cheers. Oh, and by the way, Alison will be coming down from university in a few weeks. You know, if you needed a bridesmaid.
Good morning, Beverly. Isn't it a beautiful day? I've just been walking through the park. It really is delightful at this time of year. Could you find a vase for these when you've a minute?
He'll catch you one of these days.
Who will?
Park keeper taking his flowers.
Yes, Beverly.
So, a present from an admirer then?
Can't I treat myself to a bunch of daffodils without a 3-hour inquisition?
Actually, just missed him.
Who?
Who'd you think? The Brigadier.
Gregory! He was here!
On the phone back this evening. Apparently his chauffeur's broken his arm, so he could meet you there at 7:30. He's put you a taxi. He said if he didn't hear from you, he'd assume it was all right.
Perhaps I'd better ring him anyway.
He said he'd be tied up all day with his stockbroker or something. But you can leave a message on his machine.
You two were having a nice cosy little chat by the sound of it. I hope you're not getting any ideas.
You must be joking. He's a bit ancient. Couldn't see him down my aerobics class. Tea dance at the town hall be more his scene. A grand ball in his mansion now, that I could probably go for. Anyway, seem more interested in our computer system than in me.
Computer system?
Oh, don't worry. I said I left all that side of things to you. Now, shall I get some water for these flowers?
On second thoughts, Beverly, I'll take them upstairs to the flat.
All right.
I'd better get started on making myself look presentable for this evening. Yes, I know it's only 10 o'clock, but it's a long job. You can give me a shout if you need me.
Oh, there was one other thing. Brenda, you know, from Carlisle.
Why do I have a feeling I'm not going to like
Well,
this?
she has sent in a complaint
Oh.
about Malcolm, the one in Barnstable.
But she's never even met him.
She says it shouldn't count as an introduction because they only spoke for 5 minutes on the phone and he wouldn't go up there because he said it was too far. And he was asking her personal questions about her figure, so she says.
What does she expect us to do? Drug him and deposit him trussed up in a mailbag on Carlisle Station? All right. Today, because I'm feeling happy, though it's wearing off very quickly, send her a dear esteemed.
Dear, esteemed and valued client, due to a computer fault beyond our control...
That's the one. Now, Beverly, Tempus Fujitsu. If anyone asks, I shall be in conference with a large jar of carrot and cucumber cream for the rest of the morning.
Righto.
Oh, here you are.
Oh.
I was looking for you downstairs.
It was full up, so I had to come up here. I did wave, but the windows were all a bit steamed up.
Oh, there was a chap downstairs wearing a cap. I didn't think it was you. He was with a woman.
Oh.
She started to give me funny looks.
Oh.
I've been on a bus for ages.
Oh, I use them all the time. When the car's being repaired, that is.
Yeah, how's the exhaust sprocket or whatever it was?
They're having trouble getting the parts. Could take months, they reckon.
I'd forgotten the view you get from up here. Look, you can see right inside that bedroom window. Oh, what is he doing?
Oh.
Well, I think I'd rather not know. You could probably catch people up to all sorts if you went past often enough.
Oh.
They must know people can see them. Perhaps they're all exhibitionists, you know. Leave the curtains open on purpose.
Oh.
Are you all right? You look a bit pale.
Oh, I usually sit downstairs. It's not so high up.
Well, I can't argue with that.
15 foot 10 inches.
I beg your pardon.
The height of this bus, 15 foot 10 inches.
Oh, you don't say.
4.82 metres if you prefer metric. I usually work in feet and inches myself.
That's a nice suit. Isn't you?
Oh, Mother said I ought to wear it. Smarten myself up a bit. It's my interview suit, you know, for interviews.
Oh, really?
And funerals. This feels a bit like an interview.
Well, as long as it doesn't feel like a... You just need to try and relax a bit. We can talk about anything you like. TV, music, holidays, buses even.
Oh,
Well, maybe not buses. It's not one of my strong subjects.
so how do you get to work then?
Well, I've got a bike and I get picked up for some jobs.
Oh,
Depends what I'm doing. I like to chop and change, you know? Anything that pays the rent. I work from the flat a fair bit.
I thought it said you did some kind of social work.
That's one way of putting it.
What, battered children and things?
More like deprived old men sometimes.
They must give you a really warm glow inside.
Are you trying to be funny?
No, honest, I was just... Oh, look, the thing is... Well, the thing is... Look, this is the first time I've done this.
What, with Fiona, you mean?
No,
Oh, right, first time with an introduction agency. Well, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Lots of people do it these days.
that's not what I meant.
Then what? Oh. I can't be the first girl you've taken out on the town. Trevor? Oh, God, that is what you mean.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was all my mother's idea.
Oh.
I know she's right, but... look, I'm 36, I'm 5'7", I don't have a car. I've never had a girlfriend and I can't play mahjong. Joanne? Where are you going? Joanne, come back!
4, 5, 6 twists of the wire. And then the secret is to hold the cork and to twist the bottle. Voila! Quick, pass me your glass.
Oh, Gregory, this is perfectly delightful. I've always wanted to come to the Chateau Blanc. I wish you'd warned me, though. I feel positively underdressed.
Nonsense, Fiona. You look very elegant. In fact, I'd go so far as to say you were the most beautiful woman in the room.
Gregory, you shouldn't tease.
I meant every word. Now, what shall we drink to?
Ooh, something to celebrate your search for Mrs. Right. I know. Happy hunting.
The very thing. Happy hunting. Now, tell me all about this fascinating business of yours. I find it all totally intriguing.
Oh, there's not much to tell. I always say it's like being a cordon bleu chef, blending together the right ingredients to create the perfect dish. Carrot and coriander, broccoli and Stilton.
Prunes and custard? Sorry. Old favourite of mine from the officer's mess.
Well, I can't really explain it in words. I suppose you could say it's a gift.
It must be very satisfying.
Lots of paperwork, of course, but then Beverly's a great help.
Ah, yes, Beverly, your factotum.
Well, she's never going to win any prizes for her typing, but she does know how to handle the clients, in case they have any little difficulties.
Difficulties?
Well, it can be a very emotional time, Gregory, as a man of your sensitivity will appreciate. If Miss A sets her heart on meeting Mr. B, but Mr. B doesn't reciprocate, well, I'm sure you can understand. A shoulder to cry on, that's what we're there for. Beverly can be a real diplomat on occasions.
I don't know how you manage to cope with it all. Though you do have the computer, of course.
Computer?
To sift through all those thousands of clients on your database. I was perusing your brochure earlier on.
Oh, that computer! Yes, it's been a great boon. We couldn't possibly manage without it.
What have you got? PC or Macintosh? Sorry, bit of a hobby with mine, computers. I'm a Mac bun myself, I'm afraid.
Really? I never have guessed. I'm afraid Beverly looks after all that side of things. I just look at the outprints. You know, casting my chef's eye over things.
Of course. Only I was wondering where you had it tucked away.
Tucked away?
The old number cruncher. I couldn't spot the VDU in your office. My 2CI takes up half a desk, and that's not including the printer.
Is that so? Well, exactly the same problem with us. Far too much space. So we keep it in a cupboard. Locked away. Out of sight.
Safe and secure from prying eyes.
Exactly.
Ventilation must be a problem.
Ventilation?
Oh, for the machine, I mean. You know how hot CPUs run these days.
Well, I think Beverly gives it an airing now and again. Oh, look! Here's the waiter. I'm starving. You know, Gregory, I think I may have the oysters after all.
Salt and vinegar?
Oh, go on then. Let's splash out.
Oh,
Trevor!
Oh, sorry. You can use my serviette if you like.
Oh, I've never been in here before. The Happy Haddock, is that what it's called? They seem to know you, though.
I often come in here if I've been out on a spot.
A spot?
You know, new vehicles or a new design of ticket. Did you know that in the past 7 months, Midland Red have tried out 4 different types of ticket roll? Trouble with the ticketing ink binding to the paper keeps coming off on people's hands. I have heard that they're looking at an alternative source for their ink ribbons. Germany, so I'm told.
Right.
They know about ticketing, the Germans.
The view from this window's very, handy.
You get all the out-of-town buses coming out this end. Not many this time of day, though.
I suppose not, especially on a weekday evening, until the summer timetable starts, of course.
Are you taking the mickey?
No? Oh, all right, maybe just a little bit.
I thought you'd made a bolt for it when you shot off downstairs like that.
Well, unless you were planning to entertain me down by the cattle market, I thought we'd better get off quick.
Sorry, I hadn't been looking.
Distracted by my alluring charms.
Oh,
That's what you're supposed to say. Didn't anyone ever tell you?
I don't remember. I don't think so. Here, did you ever go round the cattle market when you were little? My mother always used to take me during the school holidays, Wednesday mornings.
I remember going once.
They were always big and steaming, the cows.
Oh, the smell was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Mess all over the floor.
All mooing away like mad, almost as if they knew.
Lambs were all right, I suppose. Their little black faces.
Moo.
Ba,
Moo.
ba, ba.
That woman thinks we're yampy.
Oh dear, I feel a bit sheepish.
She can think what she likes. I won't kowtow to anybody. Moo.
Hello, Mr. Cow. Pleased to meet you.
Did you hear about the bomb that landed in a field and then got eaten by a bull?
No.
It was abominable.
Oh, God. That is awful.
Oh, I know. I'm in a really daft mood. Moo. Moo.
So there we were, headkeeper and myself, 2:00 in the morning, and would you believe it? This damned fellow actually did have a receipt in his pocket for 4 pheasants. From some butcher shop over in Upton.
So you had to let him go?
Well, he was on a public footpath, so what else could we do? Only then, a few days later, we discovered that this butcher's shop had closed down 6 months before. Must have got hold of some of their old stationery, I suppose.
Oh, the effrontery of some people.
Not like the old days, eh? Everything done on a handshake. Not that a young thing like you would remember what I call the old days.
Gregory, you're so sweet.
If I am, it's all because of your company, my dear. Well, I suppose we better be wending our way. Let's have a look at the damage.
You must let me pay my share.
Nonsense! I invited you, remember?
Well, if you insist.
Now then, I'm sure I have the old checkbook in here somewhere. Oh, no. Blast! I know what's happened. I changed my jacket at the last minute. Look, this is frightfully embarrassing. I seem to have come out without a bean. Looks like I'll have to stay all night and do the washing up for them.
Oh, don't be silly, Gregory. Let me get it. We can sort it out later. Pass me over the bill.
This is awfully decent of you, Fiona. Fiona? You've gone a bit pale, old girl.
Oh, I'm all right. It's just a little more than I was expecting.
And all worth every penny, my dear. It was rather a good champagne. Look, I'll drop by and square things up with you first thing in the morning.
Gregory, there are far more important things in life than money. That's always been my first rule. Now, can I tempt you back for a nightcap?
How could I refuse such an enticing proposal? You see, Fiona, I'd like to get to know you better. Much, much better.
Are you warm enough?
Fine. I just needed to walk off that fish and chips.
Oh, didn't you like it?
It was very nice. A bit filling, that's all. And the Knickerbocker Glory was probably a mistake. I'd almost forgotten they existed. You know, like when you sometimes see old adverts for things they don't make anymore, like Wonderloaf and Cherry B.
Marathon bars. I used to eat a lot of those until they changed the name. I never liked asking for Snickers. It always sounded a bit rude to me.
And Crunchy, when it was Fries Crunchy.
Here, did you ever have Viral? My dad used to make me have it when I was little. Sticky brown stuff, full of iron or something.
And all those old washing powders, Omo and Oxidol and Fairy Snow.
I shouldn't have thought you'd be old enough to remember all that. Your form said mid-20s.
Yours said early 30s.
That was Fiona's idea. Anyway, she said age wasn't important between friends.
I think she's probably right.
Have you been with the agency long? I mean, you're really... Well, I wouldn't have thought you'd have much trouble, you know, finding someone.
No, I'm pretty new to all this myself. Anyway, tell me some more about you. Where is it you work?
The council offices,
Oh,
you know,
right.
down at the end of Broad Street.
Oh, really? What do you do exactly?
Oh, nothing very exciting. General Services Department, things like making sure street lamps get repaired or the people look after their allotments properly,
Yeah.
approving the names for new roads, all that kind of thing.
Sounds really interesting. So you mean, if I was a builder and I wanted to call a street on my new estate Barry Manilow Boulevard, it would be you that decide whether or not to allow it?
Well, there's lots of things to consider. Whether it might be confused with any similar name in the area. Say there was a Hairy Mandible Boulevard a few miles away, or whether it might cause offence. We turned down on Adolf Avenue a few months back. I mean, there's probably been lots of other Adolfs apart from Hitler, but some people are easily upset.
Or if it was a really long name, like Hans Christian Andersen Crescent, or one of those stupid people who get called after all the players in a football team.
Has Fiona been saying something?
What about?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's the parents who pick the names. You can't blame the person who has to walk around with them for the rest of their life, okay?
I wasn't saying you should.
Right.
Okay. Can I ask you something? You were joking about me being the first girl you've ever taken out.
No. Well, sort of. It's been ages.
Oh,
You might as well be the first.
did something happen, if you don't mind me asking?
It was after my dad died.
Oh.
I was about 19. My mother went all to pieces, wouldn't go out of the house, not even the garden. I had to look after all the shopping and the cooking and stuff.
Wasn't there anyone who could help? Social services or something?
We had home helps for a bit, but Mother always used to fall out with them, accuse them of stealing or moving things so she couldn't find them, all sorts. In the end, it was just simpler for me to do everything.
And is she still...
She's a lot better now, but, well, she's getting on a bit. Then suddenly, after years of complaining every time I went out, she started saying I ought to get myself someone. And as it didn't look like I could manage it on my own, she said she was going to organise it all. The money's from some kind of insurance policy.
So, what's made her?
I don't know. Perhaps she thinks it would be better if there was another woman about, to help look after her. It gets a bit embarrassing at times, you know, for a man. She'd rather be dead than go into a home. I made inquiries once and she found out. She got into a right state.
Oh, Trevor.
But Mother said we had to do this properly. It's how my dad would have wanted things done. If a thing's worth doing, that's what he used to say.
What was your father? You know, what did he do?
Worked on the buses. Conductor. 33 years. Took early retirement when they went one-man operated. He couldn't drive, you see. Not even a car.
And was that hat of yours? Was it his conductor's hat?
They don't normally let you keep them. Property of the ratepayers.
Oh.
But they let him keep his.
Oh, Trevor. This agency of Fiona's, well, it may not be such a good idea, you know?
What do you mean? I've already met you, haven't I? I'm sure Mother will like you.
Look, Trevor, I shouldn't start building your hopes up too high.
What do you mean? I can see you again, can't I? Joanne?
That's all right. Keep the change.
Look, this is awfully decent of you, Fiona. I can't apologise enough.
Nonsense, Gregory. What are friends for?
Today of all days for my chauffeur to break his leg. Anyway, I've got to be in town first thing tomorrow, so I've got a room booked at the George Hotel. I can easily walk it from here.
Oh, you're not escaping that easily. I did promise you a nightcap, remember? It's the least I can do after such a wonderful evening.
Fiona, I can't say how much I've enjoyed it too. You've been like the warm savannah breeze sweeping away my dusty old cobwebs.
You do say such nice things. By the way, Gregory, your chauffeur, how is his, leg?
Oh, he'll be out of action for a while, I'm afraid. Awful nuisance, but can't be helped.
Here we are, just round at the side there. Straight up the stairs.
Actually, I was meaning to ask you before we go up. There's a very fine picture in your outer office.
Is there?
Oh, you must know the one I mean. The tiger perched on the rocks. I noticed it when I was here for my little interview.
Oh, that old thing.
It did remind me of my days in Africa, roaming the savannah, tracking the big cats for hours on end. And fine art is rather a hobby of mine. Would you mind awfully if I had another look?
Oh, be my guest.
There we are. Magnificent creature. The artist has really caught all its brooding strength. It does take me back, I must say.
Well, I can't say I'd ever noticed. It was here when I took over the place. In fact, I almost threw it away once, but the wallpaper's really faded around it.
Look, Fiona, as it's getting on a bit, and we do have your reputation to consider, why don't you nip upstairs to fetch the old drinky-poos? I'll just settle myself down and chat to Mr. Tiger here about the good old days.
Well, yes, perhaps you're right. Wouldn't want the neighbours talking. Are you sure you'll be all right?
Don't you worry about me. I'll just amuse myself down here. Other people's rooms are always so revealing, don't you find?
Joanne! Can you just stop a minute, please? Was it something I said? Couldn't you at least just tell me?
It's not you at all, Trevor, it's me. No, it's not me. It's her. It was all her idea.
Who? What idea?
Fiona. Going out with her clients.
Huh? But I got your form. It was me who asked you out. We got matched up on the computer.
Trevor, there is no computer.
Huh?
In fact, there are hardly any clients.
I don't understand. Then why did I get your details?
I'm doing it as a favour for Fiona. We have this little business arrangement. You see, sometimes, like at the moment, there aren't many women on the books and who you match up with. I mean, it's difficult. You're really nice, Trevor, but even with Fiona's helping hand, it's probably going to take a while for you to find someone you're compatible with.
You mean no woman in her right mind is going to want to go out with me, huh?
No, I didn't mean that at all. But it all takes time, and people sometimes start getting miserable or impatient or even demanding their money back. So that's where I come in.
Where do you come in?
Look, Fiona would kill me if she knew I was telling you all this. She's pretending I'm on her books and sending out my details to people, and then, well, I'm not bad looking, so if people say they'd like to meet me, we can go out and have a nice time. And I have had a nice time tonight, Trevor, really, I have. And then people feel like they're getting somewhere, you know, like there's hope.
But there's not, is there? It's all a big con.
Things have been a bit hard for her. She's been looking at ways of giving things a boost, like the computer. I think she's almost convinced herself she's got one. It's even in her brochure. She wouldn't have the first idea about a computer. They don't even have a word processor.
Huh.
But she is really good, you know, spotting an ideal match in the unlikeliest of people.
But what about that stupid questionnaire? It took hours. Complete waste of time by the sound of it.
She says it helps people open up. Have you ever noticed how people are a lot more forthcoming if it's on a form? You know, if you're in the bank or somewhere and they bring out a form, address, age, salary, before you know it, you've given them your life story, and all you went in there for was to tell them your address.
Well, that still doesn't change anything. It still boils down to the fact that you're not here because you wanted to meet me, but because Fiona's paying you. And I bet that afterwards you'll say you're really sorry, but you don't want to see me again.
Something like that.
It makes it all sound like you're a, one of those women. You're not, are you? Mother would have a fit if she knew.
Oh, it's not like that, Trevor. I'm not like that. Honestly. Look, people like you, in your position, they often find it really hard to... Oh, I don't know. Look, I'm only telling you all of this because...
Because you feel sorry for me?
No. Because you're right. I agree with you. If you wanted an escort for the evening, there's plenty of places you could go and get one. And at half the price you're paying Fiona. You see, I count as one of your first 5 introductions.
Oh.
So the past 3 hours have cost you the best part of £200.
Oh, no, Mother will go spare. She mustn't find out. She's pinned all her hopes on this.
She doesn't have to find out. I won't tell her.
What am I going to do?
Oh, I've had enough of this. If Fiona wants to run an introduction agency, fine. An escort agency, no problem. But she has to be straight with people. Look, it's not that late and her place is only about 5 minutes walk from here. If she's still up, or even if she isn't, we're having it out with her. Now!
Here we are. Sorry to be... Gregory, what are you doing?
Oh, Fiona, I didn't hear you. I was just looking for some scrap paper to make a note of the artist's name. It might be worth getting it valued, you know. I've got a little man who could look at it for you.
Gregory, I may be a lot of things, but I am not stupid. It is not an undiscovered old master. It's a nasty, cheap print. Even Oxfam wouldn't take it. I think you have some explaining to do.
Steady on, old girl. I haven't got the right glasses on, that's all. I must have...
Oh, don't tell me. Left them in your other jacket?
Precisely.
So, Gregory, if that's your real name, which I very much doubt, what's this all about? If it's money you're after, well, you're going to be very disappointed. You've probably got more than I have, and that's not saying a lot if this evening's little performance is anything to go by.
I'm sorry, dear lady, I'm not sure
Oh, yes, you must think I was born yesterday. This invisible chauffeur of yours with the broken leg, or was it his arm? Or perhaps he just disappeared of his own exhaust pipe.
I can assure you that Hemmings
Oh,
is...
my very good friend Margaret, who used to live in Kenya, once told me quite categorically that finding a tiger in Africa is about as likely as meeting a man who isn't egotistical, patronising, scheming and deceitful.
Well, in that case, my dear Fiona, there's only one thing for it.
Here we are. It's just at the end here. Well, Trevor, I don't care what she says. I'm going to give it to her straight. She has to realise she just can't go on treating people like this.
Listen!
What?
I think it's coming from Fiona's. Quick! It is. Something must be wrong.
Oh, get it away from me. Please get it away.
What the devil?
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
It's all right. I've put it outside. You can come down now. You probably just disturbed it.
Oh, Trevor, I've never seen a spider that big in my whole life. And this useless idiot was just standing there like a...
Montgomery Bartlett?
Joanne?
Mr. Chadwick.
Hopkins?
I hate to interrupt on this touching reunion, but do I understand that you both know Brigadier Chadwick?
That's not where he was calling himself last week when I was giving him his massage.
Oh.
He told me he worked in...
He works in the Trading Standards Department at the council offices, up on the first floor. I'm over in General Services, next door to Planning.
Trading standards?
You will, in due course, be receiving a summons regarding a number of offences under the Trade Descriptions and Consumer Protection Acts. Not to mention a total of 36 complaints from some unhappy ex-customers of yours, Mrs. Prendergast. Very unhappy. And if they've seen what I have of this so-called business, I can quite understand why.
Is that her name? Prendergast?
Didn't you know?
I knew it wasn't Buckingham.
Fiona Florence Nightingale Prendergast.
Never.
I am still here, you know.
But not for very much longer, if I have my way. Oh well, I'll wish you good night. Mustn't keep the chauffeur waiting, must we?
Well, here we are.
Yes, here we are.
I had a great time. Best night out in ages.
Did you really? It wasn't bad, was it?
Especially that Chadwick. I don't think I shall ever forget the look on his face when he saw us two. He was doing goldfish impressions for ages. It's Fiona I feel sorry for, though. He seems to have given her the right old runaround.
I expect he was only doing his job, if all those people had been complaining.
Well, I think it was all pretty underhand, pretending to be wooing her when all the time he was collecting evidence. That was really mean. Well, I suppose we should say goodnight.
Thank you for seeing me home.
My pleasure.
Mother will be in bed. She always goes up after news at 10.
Better not disturb her then.
Will I mean, can I, you know, go out with you again?
Of course you can, Trevor. But look, that's all it will be. Two friends going out for a laugh. Nothing romantic. Do you understand what I mean?
I think so.
You're a really terrific person, Trevor. You've got a lot more going for you than a lot of men I know.
Oh, I knew it would end up like this. I told you it would.
No, you didn't. You said I wouldn't want to see you again. And I've just told you, I'll be really happy to see you again. Really, I will. But when it comes to finding you a kindred spirit, as Fiona would put it, well, you need someone a bit less flighty than me. It didn't say on my details, but unreliable is my middle name. You need someone much more settled than I'll ever be, believe me. So, are you going to cheer up and give me a little goodnight kiss? Trevor.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Morning, Beverly.
Actually, this afternoon, 10 to 3.
Oh, God, I feel awful.
Didn't the Brigadier live up to expectations?
You could put it like that. Look, Beverly, you know what we were talking about the other day? Making ends meet and all that. Well, I think we need to... Look, you couldn't possibly put the kettle on, could you? There's a dear.
Sure.
And a couple of aspirins to go with it.
Rightio. Oh, there's a couple of messages for you. Oh, and Trevor called in. You know, the new one.
Don't tell me. He wants his money back and is suing me for living off immoral earnings.
No, he was bringing in a photo for his details. I did offer to see if you were available, but he said you probably wouldn't want disturbing.
Oh, very thoughtful, I'm sure.
He seems really nice. I was telling him about my Tupperware parties. I think he might come to one. Apparently he used to do quite a bit of cooking himself.
Yes, Beverly.
And he was saying he's got one or two little suggestions for you, like about the agency. Says you ought to make it a selling point, this trial dating thing, to get people started. Make it less stressful for them.
Beverly, you see, the thing is, there probably won't be an agency for much longer. There seem to have been a few complaints about the computer.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Trevor's got this friend who knows all about computers. He can probably fix us up with something, second-hand, but perfectly reliable. I can do the word processing.
But it's not just the computer, I'm afraid. You see, Brigadier Chadwick, as he called himself...
Yeah,
was
and Joanne phoned. It was all a bit complicated, so I had to write it down. But here we are. Don't worry about the TSO, whatever that is. She's told Montgomery that if he doesn't keep Mum, she'll spill the means to Mrs. Bartlett. She said you'd understand. Fiona? You all right? Fiona?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Beverly. Perfectly all right. In fact... I think a little celebration may be in order. What would you say to some almond macaroons?
Sorry, I've got a hair appointment at 3. I've got a date this evening.
Oh, that's nice.
We're going out for a meal.
Anywhere special?
Not really, just fish and chips. Someplace down by the bus station. The Happy Haddock. Do you know it?
In Making Ends Meet, Fiona was played by Sarah Flint, Beverly by Amy Standish, Trevor Hopkins by Chris Bedford, and Mrs. Hopkins by Jill Vale. Margaret was played by Jenny Cosgrave, Joanne by Claire Bedford, and Gregory Chadwick was played by David Noble. Original music was by Kaylee Stratton, studio director was Amy Standish, technical director was Chris Scott, and executive producer was David Hunter. This has been a Springline production in partnership with Gobo Theatre.